I wouldn't say that I disliked it. I feel like that kind of plays along with we're not supposed to really like him or what he looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks pretty bad and a lot more realistic in his scars and like the kind of deformed way like his nose sits and his lips are kind of almost not there.
Yeah.
So when he talks, he kind of talks only out of one side of his mouth, and little things like that I really liked, and even hearing him saying how grueling that makeup
I can imagine
application.
sitting down for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they eventually get it down to 3.5. But I mean, that's crazy. Just even just to sit there for 3.5 hours every day.
And I think he said it takes an hour just to take it off.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, is there anything you would change, or do you you think would make this better? And ask me this back once you answer.
Okay. To change and make it better. Maybe the whole the backstory, maybe his origin. I can understand why. I can understand. Oh my god! I can understand why they did that story to kind of push the story along, and for a reason to explain why he's burnt and why he hates these people and the adults and kids and everything. But maybe that. But as a whole, the movie, I don't hate it. I mean, it's fine. But
it's just okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's just,
by far the weakest, I think, in this. Well, I don't know. Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
There's a few of those that I think this film is still better than them.
Oh yeah.
In the original.
It's a solid movie.
It is.
It's
just not as solid as it could have been. And that's
I mean, to really pinpoint one thing, I'm not really sure what could be changed to make it better. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It could be a number of things that just don't make the movie as good as it could be.
Okay.
And maybe just a bunch of little things that could have been changed or altered a little bit.
Okay.
But what about you?
Okay, well, my first thing with this film is... So, the set design and the art direction is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really, like, jaw-dropping. They really... they captured... Like not only like in the real world, and then distinguishing the nightmare world.
Yeah.
Those transitions are amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like on another, like talking about it from a filmmaking aspect, that was something to really behold, and they really captured that in their own tones and keeping it consistent throughout the film. That's a strong point that. The aesthetic of this film is beautiful, and if anything, it's the best part of it. But the cast, I think a lot of the kids, they were just too, like Annie was saying, with horror films, and why she recommended Rec is because you want to feel like these kids are real high school kids.
Yeah.
And for this one, they're too hot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
they're not normal looking enough.
Yeah, the girls are like overly beautiful, with the exception of Rooney Mara is beautiful, but she has that kind of. This could be a girl walking down the street.
Yeah.
So for Nancy, I'm on board with, but for like her friend, who ultimately is the one who gets
Chris, right?
Yeah,
Chrissy or something.
She's like super like. Way too beautiful.
The model.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I think for these remakes they tend to cast these kids that you don't really care if they get killed off. Not. And that's the thing. Yeah, it's like it's hard to do solid character development when you can invest in these people that you don't really think could be real. So that's a big disadvantage for this. And the second one would be what you kind of hit on, but you didn't really dive too deep into it, so I'm going to do it now, is the origins.
Okay.
I think, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this, basically, it turns out that, so Freddy is going after these the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposedly because they told their parents that he was like molesting them and kind of abusing them during that time in their lives. And so the parents kind of create this kind of gang, and they corner Freddy Krueger into this building, and they burn him alive, and he dies. So they kind of lead you to believe that the kids lied, and that he didn't really ever do anything, so he was killed wrongfully.
So he's like a vengeful spirit.
Yes. And everything's amazing up until that point, pretty much. And then they're like, no, wait. Like, here are these photographs. They find, like, his, like, kitty dungeon thing, and it turns out that he really was a shitty child molester.
Yeah.
And that's where the film kind of falls apart in that iconic sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't feel for him anymore. And from a writing aspect, if that would have been me, I would have done it backwards, where they think that he's this shitty child molester, and then the twist is that he's not.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better, I think.
Yeah, if they had switched that up, and at the end they find out that he hadn't done all those things.
Yeah.
And it was a miscommunication, or maybe he had witnessed the kids do something, horrible themselves.
Yeah.
And so they kind of threw him under the bus to save themselves. There you go. That would have been that's a way that would have saved, I think, this reboot, and kind of brought something cooler to it, especially in the original franchise. As evil as Freddy is, and he does all this kind of stuff, they only play with the idea that he's a child murderer, and they never really say like anything about molestation, because that's going too far. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is I think as of late, people in the industry want to dive too deep into exposition and backstory. And it's like, what's scary is not knowing
leave
so
that
much.
mystery.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes the original Nightmare on Elm Street so good.
Yeah, exactly.
And why this one, I think, kind of misses the mark, as you said.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on the reboot, the new reboot that they're doing?
Oh, there's a new reboot, a reboot volume 2?
Yeah, I guess, New Line wants to do it again.
Okay.
To try to test the waters and do better. Because I think people hated this one so bad that they didn't keep going. But they had the intentions of keeping
that's what I heard, when they first came out with it. It's supposed to be, big...
It's kickoff.
Yeah. Do we have any casting news on the new reboot at all? Or any,
so it's all
favorable...
rumors, except for David Leslie Johnson, who wrote Conjuring 2 and I think he penned Conjuring 3.
Okay.
Now is writing this next Nightmare, and those Conjuring 2 is a solid sequel.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that maybe this would be really good. I don't know if you heard about the IMDb synopsis that had been up for the new film for a while. I guess the New Line came out and discredited that's not a real plot.
Okay.
So you haven't heard about that?
No, I haven't heard about it. No.
Yeah. So the plot, I'll tell you guys. It's I didn't write it down, so I'll kind of tell you from memory. But basically, it's about Freddy's son. He starts realizing that he has the ability to get into people's dreams too. So it's like a hereditary thing that Freddy's passed down. And then all of a sudden they go nuts, and they're like, oh, this government agency is trying to hunt down the son and harness the nightmare ability to use it as a weapon. Anyway, I guess New Line said that won't be
that's not going to be the story.
Yeah, that's fake.
Oh, okay.
That's a fake plot.
How would that even how would that be put out into IMDb?
Well, you can add anything into IMDb, but it's up to whoever saying that's fraudulent to go in and take it off and say that it's fake.
Wow, that sounds kind of crappy.
Yeah, but, I'm just glad that's not where they're going with it.
Yeah,
because a lot of people were upset.
I don't know. I hope they keep it original, but at the same time bring something new to the character.
Also, this isn't official. It's like the Scorsese thing, but I think there's a rumor of Kevin Bacon helming Freddy.
Really?
That could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
He can be creepy enough.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool.
What else do we
What
have?
was your favorite part of the movie?
Of this one?
Yes.
I really like the opening.
Okay.
Because even though I think that they messed up in that they set up all these characters already having Freddy in their lives, as opposed to us seeing them like before, like pre-Freddy.
Yeah.
So we can kind of get to know them a little bit before they get tossed into the situation. So I kind of love and hate that beginning, even though I think that that's a reshoot.
Oh, really?
That was a reshoot. It wasn't supposed to be a part of the film initially, so they went back and they put that in at the last minute.
Oh.
What about you? What's your favorite scene of the film?
Favorite scene? I actually like the part where was it Rooney Mara's character, where she finds the that guy's his website or his blog or whatever, and she's kind of figuring out like what's going on, and like she's learning more about the character, kind of. He's kind of talking about like, I ran the other way this time in my dream, and I ended up at a preschool.
You talk about the Asian guy.
Yeah, the Asian guy.
That always ends up in all. He's in all these movies.
Yeah, I know.
He's in the Friday remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was the it kid for a little bit.
Yeah. Because he was in Disturbia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that scene, and one of my, I guess it's just a quote from the movie, but it was when Rooney Mara's character is running up the stairs at the end when she's running from Freddy, and she runs in through the hallway and she starts sinking to the ground, and it turns out to be blood. And he's like, "How was that for a wet dream?" Yeah, and I thought that was really funny. But I mean, I like the way it looked and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a solid scene. I'm glad that you brought that up. That was a very,
and just like the sinking down and then through the roof into her bed.
Yeah, that whole setup was great.
Yeah, it was badass.
Do you want to hear the Robert Englund interview about him? His thoughts on this film?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's play that. Enjoy, guys.
Well, I'm happy to hand it off to Jackie. Jackie's a terrific actor. All you have to do is watch his work in Breaking Away, or watch his work in Shutter Island. What a magnificent rock and roll performance that is. He's the best thing, I think, in Watchmen. He's a terrific actor. I think that'll all be cut out. I think the problem with the reboot was in timing. He was a terrific cast. Connie Britton as the mother, Clancy Brown, terrific actors. The young actress from Dragon Tattoo, the young actor from Jennifer's Body. These are wonderful actors that I'm impressed with and that I've worked with. But I think that they had just released the deluxe Blu-ray digitally remastered box set of all of my movies months before, or within the year before the reboot, and an entire new younger generation saw those films on a 50-inch flat screen in Dad's man cave with the lights turned off during a adolescent sleepover, and those movies look great that way, and they hold up, especially parts 5, a double bill of 3 and 4, Wes Craven's New Nightmare Part 7, and Freddy vs. Jason, which is still a comparatively recent film. And they had just seen those, so I got an entire new generation. in 2008 or 2009, whenever that happened. And then they re-released the movie, the reboot. They're trying to reboot the franchise. Platinum Dooms came out, I think, in 2009, 2000.